A cap gun is a toy revolver which, when you pull its trigger, makes an explosive sound like a gunshot and emits a small puff of smoke. The caps, tiny dots of gunpowder on either a plastic ring or a strip of paper inserted in the gun, produce these realistic effects. Cowboy-style cap guns were the rage in the 1950s and 60s during the golden age of westerns. This small American factory uses the molds the major toy companies of the day discarded when they stopped making cap guns long ago. Caps are little dots of gunpowder about 1.5 millimeters in diameter sandwiched between two strips of paper. Pulling the trigger releases a hammer, which strikes the cap, exploding it. This injection molding machine makes the grips, the faces of the gun handle. It shoots hot liquid plastic into 10 grip molds simultaneously. The plastic cools and solidifies in just seconds. The color and design of grips vary by model. The ones on this rancher-style cap gun feature a steer's head. The rest of the gun is made of cast zinc. Workers load a zinc bar into a smelting pot heated to about 400 degrees Celsius. The bar melts within a couple of minutes. The molten zinc travels through heated pipes to a plunger, which injects the zinc into a gun parts mold. The zinc takes just 10 seconds to cool and harden. Then it's just a matter of separating the parts. The gun's main body, which contains the right side of the barrel, the loading gate, which covers the cap box, the cylinder, the left side of the barrel, and toy bullets, which load into the cartridge but don't shoot out of the gun. The trigger and hammer are cast in a separate mold. Every piece has flashing, excess metal that forms in the gap between the two halves of the mold. After removing as much as they can with pliers, workers file down the rest. Some flashing is quite thick, so they use a sander to remove it. Workers rinse the smoothed parts in acid to clean the surface, then electroplate them with zinc. They dip the parts in a clear liquid coating to make the matte surface shiny. Now assembly can begin. First, they install the spring which opens the loading gate. They take the left side of the barrel, add the latch that holds the loading gate closed, and the spring which puts tension on that latch. Then the cylinder. And finally, the guiding disc, which turns the cylinder when you squeeze the trigger. They screw all that to the main body, which contains the right side of the barrel. They insert an orange plastic safety tip into the end of the barrel. Laws require this to prevent cap guns from being mistaken for real firearms. They hook the loading gate spring to the gate's latch to hold it closed. Then they install the hammer spring and hammer. Two brass grommets secure the cylinder turning arm and the pusher, which feeds the caps one by one out of the cap box, into striking position. The trigger spring keeps tension on both the cap pusher and the trigger. Next, they install the loading gate. After hooking up additional springs, workers attach the top part of the hammer spring to the holding pin on the hammer. Then the bottom part of the hammer spring to the holding pin on the frame. Finally, the plastic grips. One for each side of the gun handle. Being cast from vintage molds, these cap guns feature intricate scroll work, a degree of craftsmanship rarely seen in toys nowadays. Something perhaps better appreciated by the parents of the Wild West cowboys than by the pint-sized gunslingers themselves.